Alright, to solve this quadratic equation by completing the square, what we do is we take this b value, or this negative 11, we divide it by 2, and then square that value and add it to both sides. This is easier when this middle number is even, but we can take 11, divide it by 2. I'm not actually going to complete that. I could get negative 5.5 and then square it. I'm going to leave it as a fraction. So when I square that, negative 11 over 2, I get 121 over 4. So I'm going to add that to both sides of the equation. Alright, and now I'm going to factor this left-hand side. This left-hand side will always factor into x plus or minus this value that I squared right here. So this is x minus 11 halves squared. That's the whole action of writing the perfect square trinomial that I did on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I got to add these two, so I got to add negative 10 and 121 fourths. To do that, I need to rewrite negative 10 in terms of a denominator fourths, so that would be negative 40 fourths. So negative 40 fourths plus the 121 fourths gives me 81 fourths. So this equation right here now is the form of, I've completed the square. Now we're just going to solve this equation by using a square root. And we do that just by taking the square root of each side of this equation. And when I take the square root, on the left-hand side of this equation, I just get rid of that square, so I have x minus 11 halves. On the right-hand side of the equation, I take the square root of the numerator and the denominator to get 9 fourths, or 9 halves, sorry. But I also get this plus minus that occurs when I take the square root of an equation. Now this is two separate equations. This is x minus 11 halves equals positive 9 halves, and x minus 11 halves is negative, or equals negative 9 halves. And so I'm going to solve those two equations. And I solve those by just adding 11 halves to both sides of the equations. So on this left-hand side, I'm going to add 11 halves to both sides, and I get x equals 20 halves, which reduces down to 10. And on the right-hand side, when I add 11 halves to both sides, I get x equals 2 halves, or 1. So my two solutions are x equals 1 and x equals 10.